This is the Algebra 1 Summer School lesson video for Unit 2, Lesson 4, which is Graphing Linear Inequalities. This is the last practice that you have before the unit test. I'm going to do 3 problems for you from the chart on this practice. I'm going to do the first problem on the front, then the first problem on the back, and the third problem on the back. So, I have a graph, then I have an inequality that I need to solve for y. I'm going to end up, after I solve, to write down 2 points in the solution set and then write some information about the y-intercept and slope. Okay? So this first equation, in order to solve for y, I always have to, that wasn't a straight line, I always have to start by drawing my line to keep things organized. In order to get y by itself here, it looks like I have to end up adding 2x to both sides. That allows me to get y by itself. Y is greater than or equal to 0 plus 2x is just 2x. That's it. That's the whole equation. So I'm actually going to pop over here to the right really quick and say, well, the y-intercept of this line is 0. The slope is 2. It says y is greater than or equal, so I'm going to end up shading above or up. And I'm going to use a solid line because it's greater than or equal to. Now that I know that information, I can go ahead and graph. The y-intercept is at 0, and my slope is up 2 over 1. Okay. Now that I've filled in all the information, so I already know that I need a dotted line here, or a solid line, which I will end up shading above. Okay. So I shade above, and I need to now find 2 points in the solution set. I can pick any 2 points I want. I'm just randomly going to choose -3, 1, and -1, 4. But you could have picked any point that's in the shaded region or the line to work. All right, the next problem I'm going to do is the top problem on the back. It says here, I don't even need to solve this one. It's x is greater than 3. You should remember that this is a vertical line. X is greater than 3 cuts through the x-axis. So when I have that line, a vertical line ends up having no y-intercept because it's not going to cut through the y-axis, and the slope is undefined. Okay. Now because it says y is greater than, I'm going to be shading up or above the greater part, and I'm going to use a dotted line because it's a strict inequality right there. Okay. That doesn't, I was trying to make an arrow, so let's see. Strict inequality right here. All right, y is greater than 3, so I go to where? X is 3, and I need a dotted line that vertically goes through the x-axis. So I'm going to go right through here, all the way up. To shade greater than 3, I'm going to shade to the right over here where all the numbers are bigger than 3. 2 points that would be in that solution set are any 2 points you can pick right here. I'm going to choose 4, -4, and 5, 4. But again, any 2 points that are in that shaded region work as solutions. Our very last problem I'm going to do for you is the third problem on the back. I'm going to solve for y. I have x minus y is less than or equal to 2, -2. So to solve for y, I start by putting my line down. And I need to move the x. So I go ahead and subtract x from both sides. When I do this, I end up with -y less than or equal to -2 minus x. Now, some people might forget and think we're done here. But it turns out I have a -1 in front of that y. So I have to move the -1. So I'm going to divide every single term by -1. When I divide by -1, I end up with y, but here I have to be careful. I divided by a negative, so this sign needs to flip. Y is greater than or equal to +2 plus x over 1, which is just x. Be really careful with those negatives and flipping the sign. From there, I get that the y-intercept is 2. I have a slope of 1. Remember, the number in front of x here is 1. I'm going to shade above because it's greater than, and I'm going to use a solid line. So let's do our last one. Y-intercept of 2. Then I'm going to go up 1 over 1 for a slope of 1. I said I have a solid line that I'm going to use here. And then I'm going to shade above, which is this whole region up high. So I've shaded above. I need to now pick 2 points that are in that solution set. I'm going to choose this point and that one. So I end up with a point 1, 4, and negative 1, 2, 3, negative 4, 0. 2 points in my solution set. If you have questions on any of the other problems on this chart or on this worksheet, go and look at the key that's posted on Canvas or come into office hours and ask your instructor. Once you finish this practice, you've now completed all the work for this unit, and you can come in and speak to your instructor about taking the unit test.